Hello, automotive history enthusiasts. Welcome to this journey through time, where I will explore a Brazilian icon that defies conventions, the Gurgel Itaipu. This small wonder was launched in 1974 and could be powered directly from the socket, showcasing the pioneering spirit of engineer João do Amaral Gurgel in the national automotive scene. While Elon Musk, Tesla's CEO, was taking his first steps in the nursery, Gurgel was already making his mark as a visionary in the Brazilian industry. Standing at a modest height of 1.40 meters, the Gurgel Itaipu boasted a fiberglass body and steel tubes, housing an electric motor powered by 10 12-volt batteries, generating a modest output of 4.5 horsepower. To refuel, all you had to do was plug it in and wait. With a range of about 60 kilometers after a full 10-hour charge, the Gurgel Itaipu faced the challenges of the 1970s oil crisis. While the world dealt with geopolitical issues and exorbitant increases in oil prices, Brazil sought alternatives, giving rise to Proálcool in 1975 to promote ethanol fuel. Interestingly, none of Gurgel's cars ran on ethanol, and the name Itaipu was inspired by the hydroelectric plant on the Brazil-Paraguay border, built around the same time. The initial prototype inspired the Gurgel Itaipu E400, a sturdier version resembling a van, produced in small quantities and used as a utility vehicle. The brand's founder, João do Amaral Gurgel, a visionary mechanical and electrical engineer, was an entrepreneur with a vision. With only $10,000 in his pocket, he joined partners and shareholders, opening a factory in Rio Claro, São Paulo, which produced approximately 40,000 vehicles. Names like Xavante, Ipanema, and BR800 became part of the national automotive identity. Despite advanced and bold models, Gurgel faced difficulties with market opening and competition from multinational companies, leading to debts and eventual closure in 1994. The founder passed away in 2009, closing the chapter on the dream of a genuinely Brazilian car, including the innovative electric refueling proposal. Gurgel may not have been a multinational, but it was certainly very national, as its founder jokingly put it. Even with the closure of operations, the legacy of Gurgel cars remains a fundamental part of Brazilian automotive history, a testament to the boldness and vision of a man who believed in Brazil's potential as a player in the global automotive industry. The end of an era. In 1994, the company went bankrupt and closed its doors definitively in 1996. This was because, a few years earlier, the government decided to exempt IPI, tax on industrialized products, for cars with engines below 999 cubic centimeters. This government action was motivated by pressure from large companies that felt threatened by Gurgel Motors. Despite being revolutionary in many aspects, the company succumbed to giants like Fiat, Chevrolet, and Ford that entered the Brazilian territory forcefully, proving too much for Gurgel. Drowning in debt due to a government backtrack that promised support and tax exemptions, Amaral Gurgel, a little earlier, had taken out various loans counting on this promised government support that never materialized. Amaral Gurgel's dream ended after a patriotic, revolutionary, very promising story, with over 40,000 cars sold. After the end and death. After closing his company, Gurgel became a speaker, talking about using entrepreneurship to fulfill dreams. However, a few years later, he discovered he had Alzheimer's. On January 30, 2009, Gurgel passed away without ever receiving the recognition he deserved for being the first to have the courage to create 100% nationally made cars, leaving a legion of fans and admirers. The Gurgel brand had expired at the INPI, National Institute of Industrial Property, since 2003. In 2004, businessman Paulo Emilio Freire Lemos acquired the brand for 850 Brazilian reais. The Gurgel family was not consulted, so they decided to file a lawsuit against the businessman. The current Gurgel has nothing to do with Gurgel Motors S/A, it's only the use of the same brand and should not be confused. Reflection. Gurgel Motors marked the history of the national industry and will forever be remembered by enthusiasts, historians, and admirers of an entrepreneur ahead of his time. It's a pity how many talented and potential rich Brazilian entrepreneurs struggle to thrive in our country. Now, as we reminisce about these significant moments, we are reminded of a Brazil that was once known as the country of the future. If you enjoyed this journey through time, subscribe to the channel for more diverse content. Until next time, and thank you for embarking on this remarkable journey through our automotive past in Brazil.